Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina show. I always say I've got special guests. Well, I have a special guest once again this week on the show. As many of you already know, I have been working on a project to help raise funds for a project that I'm working alongside a few different groups of people. And one of them, of course, is the Lancaster Police Department. You are the very first person that I had reached out to. It is Sergeant Chuck Sims with the Lancaster Police Department over Community Services, their officer program. And I've known you for a while, but you've been on my radio once, and then now this is your first time for the TV, and I just realized you tried to pawn it off on somebody else, didn't you?
Well, you know, I tried to get someone of more importance in the room instead of me. I found that that's more successful.
I'll go with that, but this time it was not successful because you are the guy that was stuck with me.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. And I'm so glad. Chuck, I want to thank you for your patience because I approached you and you were on vacation the first time.
That's
and
right.
I was like, I'm so sorry. And then I think the second time you had gone on vacation, which was a real vacation.
Yes, a real one.
Yes. And what we mean by that is sometimes we take vacations for something going on in the county for your family that
Correct.
is kind of a vacation, staycation. We'll just go with that. Lots to talk about. So talking about the project, Operation Teddy Care. And it is something that years ago I had mentioned to Jim Marshall when I did radio, and he said they used to do something like this where you would all have in the law enforcement cars for if there's a situation, you would give a child a stuffed animal. I don't know if it was always just teddy bears. And I thought, it was in the back of my mind for the longest time. Well, then Officer Alexis Smith was my first responder of the month a few months ago, and she shared a little story and why she decided to go into law enforcement, or helped encourage her, inspire her to want to. And I thought, you know what, this is now the time. And that's when I had reached out to you. And I just want to say thank you so much, because giving me the opportunity and introducing me to the Lancaster Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association,
That's
who
a lot,
helps.
huh?
I know.
That's a lot.
Yeah, yes. And who has really helping to make this all happen, of raising funds for us to get teddy bears into the homes of kids that really need that extra TLC, is what I call it.
Yeah, it really skyrocketed once you kind of called me. And my biggest concern was, my first thought was, oh my, where are we going to store that kind of amount of teddy bears? That was the first thing that popped into my head, was I have no room for something like that.
Yeah.
But then, because I knew that the community was going to be more than generous enough
You did.
to come in with funds. This is an amazing community. So they get behind things, projects like this that are supporting of kids. So I'm glad that it's starting to kind of come into play here. I'm really excited about it. I was excited about the idea when you first said it, because a lot of times officers they'll buy the things themselves, keep it in the cruisers, and they'll give it to kids. They'll give them, anything from a little toy to a teddy bear to maybe a gift card to the movie theater. Like, guys will do that all the time. So this gives an officers the opportunity to connect with a kid, maybe even a little younger kid, in a special way. And that's my real focus of this, for the police department to have a part of connecting with a young kid in a way that is impactful the rest of their lives.
Absolutely, because sometimes seeing you all in the uniform that you're in, it may be because you're pulling somebody over. It could be their parent, it could be a family member, whoever, or they could see you in a different set of eyes than what they would when they're in a situation that you're there, because you're truly here to protect them and all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I was out last night on a interdiction detail and come across a bunch of kids playing in the street, and got out, and they were more than happy to see us there, and were talking to me, and it was just one of those moments that made me realize of what we're going to do with Operation Teddy Care, that those kids want to be able to interact with you. They're a little intimidated by the uniform and maybe by the situation that you're dealing with them in, but they really do. They want to interact with you.
Because when they realize what you are there for and what you're all about, then that's where just like, they are really cool, because I think they do see you as the good guys.
They do. I think
Really.
deep down they do. Maybe they get some influence that maybe we're not, or they see something that, or they maybe experience something where something happened to a family member,
Right.
and we had to take an enforcement action. We want to make sure that no matter what, they always know that they have a friend, a person that they can call, that they can trust, that is there to help.
Yeah, yeah. And with that all being said, we're getting ready to, on the show here, be presented with a large check, which I'm very excited.
So cool.
So I want folks to wait for that. You have to see. And that is really, really cool because I just haven't even started going out to businesses yet. And I didn't realize how even a complete stranger, if I'm standing there and somebody's hearing me share it with somebody, they look up and they go, that's really, really nice. Because I think it's a cool thing to do, but I guess I just didn't realize that it was something that really people do see as something really cool for kids.
It's something super nice to a kid when they're having that experience, and that officer can interact with them and give them not just an average teddy bear that you buy online. I mean, and that's what we talked about that first meeting was, let's get someone local that's going to build something nice, and let's keep this local. The money's coming locally. Let's keep it local. And that's the most exciting part is that the community just jumps right behind things like this and we go forward. So
and it's them and it's all of us working together. And that's another thing, because I know things that I've done in the past, and I'm very, very adamant about, no matter what I do, it's just an idea. I just have some ideas and I vocalize them and I share them with other people, because if it weren't for the other people being a part of it, it would never work. It's just like when you have a really good band or really good music. The way that happens is because of the person that's setting up the sound. If they weren't setting up the sound, you weren't gonna have any sound coming out of anything in the first place. And then the players, it takes an entire group and team to make something successful. And if it weren't for you agreeing to say this is, really, yes, let's do this, and finding a place to store them. By the way, Brad Hutchinson has agreed to help with the storage unit. Because you did. You said, where? And I was just like, let me make a couple of phone calls. And I made a couple of phone calls. You're like, okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. I was like, I'm getting her done.
Exactly. I mean, you're driving the bus on this the whole way, though. I want everybody to know that. Like, you push this bus forward and you're going forward with it. And now let's just all partner together and jump on and help you make this actually come to light.
And you are, and you really are. And the most important thing, and out of all of this, is to making that positive difference in the life of a child that could be going through something that we couldn't do it other than through Hunter and the teddy bear. Yeah,
very excited about that for those. I think it's going to be impactful for the officers as well. They'll never tell you that, but I do think there's something special happens when an officer connects with a little kid like that. And that's good for the officer and the kid. So
that's right. And then when that child becomes a teenager and then an adult, and they run into that officer once that officer's retired, and they walk up to the officer and say, once a long time ago I went through, you inspired me and encouraged me because you gave me a little teddy bear in my house in a situation that I never needed to be, wasn't planning on being in. Because that's the thing. Sure. They're in situations that they have no control over.
That's right.
But we, as a community, can help to make it better.
A little bit
better. A little bit better. And we possibly can. Yay! So thank you so much, Chuck. So anyways, folks, don't go anywhere. I have got the organization, nonprofit, Debbie Probasco, who is with me, she's going to talk about what they do for the Lancaster Police Department and how they're helping to make this all come to fruition and happen. It's Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Can I visit my doctor online?
Our providers offer telehealth appointments that fit your schedule, allowing you to get the care you need when you need it. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
It's Down Home with Tina. Welcome back. I have got Debbie Probasco. She is the president of the Lancaster Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association. They are a nonprofit group that I don't know how many years they've been around, but I'm so excited to find out much more about them. All I know is that they were introduced to me, and I had approached them about an organization to go through for us to raise funds for these teddy bears, for Operation Teddy Care. And I have to tell you, when I went to that meeting and you guys approved and voted that you would allow this project to be run through your organization, I jumped up and down, and I think I went to my car and had tears in my eyes of joy, because I'm so excited about getting the opportunity, Debbie, not just to work with you all, but to get to do something like this for the community. Just because kids, I love kids. And I did a volunteer program years ago, and it happened to have been in Talmadge Elementary, and I got to see some of these kids firsthand that didn't have, so they had some things or whatever we were trying to teach them about value and self-worth, and I just fell in love with each and every one of them. Right. And you never know what a child's going through, and especially in that time of a moment when you have law enforcement come into your house and you don't know what's going on in the next room, but you see these men and women in uniform, and then they may get handed a teddy bear that has a little messages telling them how special they are. It could be the most vulnerable time of their life for something like that to just maybe give them a hint of hope.
Exactly. You asked about the Citizens Police Academy. In 2007,
yes,
the police department offered a Citizens Police Academy class.
Okay.
From that class was born the Alumni.
Okay. Okay.
So that's how this all started.
So you go through that program and you become a part of the Citizen Police Academy, and then you can volunteer to participate in the Alumni Association. And that's
exactly
what this organization is created from.
Right.
Nice.
So once you take the class, now you can join before you take the class as an associate member.
Okay. That means you don't have, just before you take the class. So for myself, who I'm interested in wanting to do this class, I can become an associate member before.
Right. And
Okay.
you're able to volunteer and help us with everything that we do.
And what are some of those things that you do? You knew I was going to ask that, right, Debbie?
Operation Teddy Bear.
That's right. That's one of them. No, I love it.
Shop with a Cop.
Yes. Okay. And what is that?
We team up with Walmart
Okay.
and JFS, and we provide Christmas for kids who probably weren't going to have a Christmas.
Gotcha.
And then we do Kids and Cops, which, if you haven't been to Kids and Cops, it's a lot of fun.
It is. And it's not just about the Lancaster Police Department, it's other law enforcement, the fire department, and
Right.
and a lot of different organizations that come together for that day.
EMA, 811, Columbia Gas. They all come together at OUL. And thank God for OUL.
That's right. That's, again, talking about the community, and Chuck mentioning that and coming together and working together.
Right. So we work with many different organizations and businesses. But our main goal is to work with the police department for anything they need us for. We've been on searches.
Wow.
We've looked for missing children. And of course, we've got Shop with a Cop and Kids and Cops. Anything they really need us for. We buy anything that's not within the city budget
Yeah, yeah.
to buy. Like, we bought helmets for SWAT.
Okay.
We just purchased a launcher for SWAT.
How do you get the funds for something like that, Debbie?
Well,
Donors? Just people donating?
well, Kids and Cops and Shop with a Cop is through donations and grants.
Okay, okay.
Like Walmart will give us a grant,
Perfect.
and then we get donations from local businesses to help with the other funding.
Nice.
Now, our volunteers, we work the gates for July the 4th
Okay.
for a donation.
Nice.
We worked the Lancaster Festival.
Which you were there, was it every event? Well, main event? Because I saw you, I know the two big ones.
The 2 concerts on Saturday and then Wednesday.
Okay.
But we worked those for a donation to our group.
That is awesome. And that's how you do that.
And we're all volunteers.
About how many are part of the Alumni Association?
Currently, we have 15 members.
That's it, and you guys do that. Oh,
Yeah.
15 members do all that, so you can, for a local police department.
Right.
Wow. Well, you all had, said that you would have me there at the meeting, and getting the opportunity just to be able to present this to you guys again was just awesome.
It's an awesome idea.
Thank you so much. But how would the funds be, if somebody wants to write a check, how do they do that? How do they get that stuff to you?
Okay, you can go through our website, which is www.lancastercpaa.com. That would take you to our website,
Okay.
and you can donate through there.
To you, if you want to donate to you all for what you do, they can do that. But if they also want to do something for Operation Teddy
There's
Care,
a pull down in the right-hand corner,
okay,
and you can pull down what you want to donate to.
and that will go. All proceeds will go towards.
To whatever if you choose Kids and Cops, Shop with a Cop, Operation Teddy.
Yes, because you guys are you've got your board and everybody, but you also are just a completely nonprofit.
Absolutely.
Funds all go back 100%, doesn't it?
100%.
Nobody gets anything,
Nobody gets anything.
because that's what true volunteering with, and that's what that means.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how I see it.
Exactly. And you could write a check if you want and send it to the Lancaster Police Department,
Okay.
to LCPAAA,
Okay.
130 South Broad Street, Lancaster, Ohio.
Okay, and mail it there, and then could they always drop off something at the front desk if they wanted to as well?
Absolutely.
As long
You
as
could
they
take
put
it
that.
in, hand it to whoever's on the other side of the desk,
Okay.
and ask them to put it in our mailbox.
Okay, and in the memo for Operation Teddy Care, put whatever it is. If it's directly to you guys, you want to donate to them, or just put in Operation Teddy Care, and then the funds will go to Operation Teddy Care. When is your next class for the Lancaster Citizens Police Academy?
We're hoping to have one in the spring
Okay.
of 2023.
Okay, so we'll look for that. Your contact information, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
The Citizens Police Academy through our website.
Through the website, so go through the website. Debbie, thank you so much. Anything else?
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. And then don't go anywhere, folks, because I've got Jon Hale coming up next with Charity Newsies. And then at the end, Debbie is going to do a drawing for our rocking horse that I sold some tickets for folks to get the opportunity to win, and all of those because the rocking horse was donated by Brian Snyder, the owner of Little Stuffin's Workshop, who will be on next week. A lot being said, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'll be back in a minute. It's Downhill with Tina.
You walked down the aisle and promised happily ever after. Sometimes happily ever after means ending a relationship. We know the conversations are not easy. Deciding what's best for you, your children, and your next steps takes work and communication. At Dagger Law, we know there are no monsters in a divorce, only people trying to find their way. Local, trusted, experienced. Dagger Law.
We could not have done, as a family, what the Pepperidge House did for my dad. No way. I mean, you just can't match that care, at home.
They made the whole entire family feel comfortable every step of the way.
Downtown with Tina is brought to you by these amazing sponsors. Folks, the reason why I can do what I do is because of the amazing folks that we have in our community. And I am doing a project called Operation Teddy Care. So many people know about it by now, but the reason why it is becoming a huge success is because of community partners like the Lancaster Fairfield County Charity Newsies. Ran into Jon Hale, he's the secretary. I've got also Nate Peters with me. He is the president of this year's Lancaster Fairfield County Charity Newsies, and they are going to present something really cool to me for the project. But before we get started with that, Jon, what are you guys up to? What have you been doing? What's happening with Charity Newsies?
Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk just a little bit about the Charity Newsies, who we are and what we do.
Yes.
Since 1936, our mission has been essentially to provide emergency food, clothing, and shelter to children and families with children throughout Fairfield County. Okay. So we do have some events coming up that are annual events. We've got a golf outing, men's outing on September 4th. We've got our annual auction and banquet will be on December 1st. And I'm going to let Nate tell you about something else that we've got going on special this year in a few minutes.
Alrighty. Well, I want to begin with, why did you decide to be a part of Charity Newsies yourself, Jon, and how many years have you been a part of it?
I have been a newsie for 28 years.
Wow.
And I was originally talked into joining by a bunch of folks that I worked with and looked at it as kind of a social thing. Hey, we meet once a month and we have some fun.
They pulled you in, didn't they?
Yeah. And I got in there, and shortly after I became a newsie, there was a house fire here in town, and there was a little boy that was badly burned.
Oh.
He was in Children's Hospital, and two of our longtime older members went to visit he and the family. And when they came to the next meeting, the gravity and the emotion with which they talked about the family and the little boy and their gratitude to the Newsies, and it dawned on me that this is a lot more than just getting together for an adult beverage or two
or socializing,
once a month.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
here you are.
Here I am,
years
28 years later.
How has it changed? Have you seen it and what it's done from back then to even today with our community?
Oh my gosh, the Newsies have grown since then. When I first became a member, I think we capped out at around 100 members. We've since, our Constitution has been updated since then, and I think right at the moment we cap out at about 135. And so at the moment we have a little bit of space for some new members. So if anyone would be interested, they'd be welcome to get in touch with us.
And how do they do that?
They can go on our website, which is CharityNewsies1936.com. There is a link to my email as secretary right on there, and they can contact me.
Perfect. Nate, he said he had mentioned you have some more things to share with us, and then I'm going to ask you that big question as well. Why you got involved and how.
Absolutely. So we have an exciting event coming up this weekend. The Newsies will be at the Lancaster Brewfest. This year we have a car that we are raffling off. So you'll see the car and some members of the Newsies at that event this weekend selling tickets for that raffle opportunity. And that car will be auctioned off December 1st at our annual banquet that Jon mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the car will be in various locations throughout the community from now up until our auction on December 1st.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah. Very excited.
About the auction and items for that, are you taking things for that?
We always welcome donations.
Okay.
Nate was last year's auction chair, and
Yes.
so he knows it's important to promote the opportunity for.
And I heard right before we got started, you did an amazing job with that last year.
Well, thank you. A lot of help.
That's
It's an awesome event, as is the organization. So my answer to your question is, I've been a member along with my wife since about 2008. We got involved because her father is a longtime member of the Charity Newsies. We went along to participate in some of the wonderful events. So every year we pack food boxes for families that qualify through 211 and provide about a week's worth of groceries that we get together as a group and pack the weekend before Christmas every year, and then we deliver those. And we've made it a family event. So we've got children, our kids go with us, we deliver those boxes. Delighted to be part of the organization.
Absolutely. And you said your children
Yes.
as well, and you seeing, and I think that experience of just witnessing what difference you're making in the lives of these people is just what keeps you going.
It does.
No matter the hard work that you have to do, if you pack boxes or whatever, it's all worth it at the end of the day, isn't it?
Very much. Yep.
So we have something, because we only had a couple minutes left, that you all think, and I'm excited because I had reached out, I shared something with you. All I did was share it, folks.
Yeah.
And you said, you know what? We're going to just see what we can do about this. Who wants to talk about that part of it? It is a part of my Operation Teddy Care and taking in donations. So.
After you and I spoke, I took the idea of the Newsies becoming a community partner in Operation Teddy Care to our officers and trustees, and everyone was all in favor of it. So, Nate?
So we are here today to present on behalf of the Lancaster Fairfield County Charity Newsies a check in the amount of $1,000 for Operation Teddy Care.
Oh, thank you guys so
very welcome.
much.
You're
You're
very
my
welcome.
number one partners in this. And
We appreciate that.
oh my goodness. So was it an easy thing to decide to
Yeah.
to become a part of?
Yes,
Very much.
because it benefits children, and that's what the Newsies are all about.
It's just making a little bit of that difference, no matter what it
Right.
is, that could become something bigger down the road. Thank you guys. I don't even know, because this is just like something that I never in a million years. So when you told me that, you know, we're going to see what we can do, I never thought in a million years that $1,000 is going to get us over 100 teddy bears, over 100, over 100 teddy bears. So between that and all of you out there that can help make it even more, because our goal is 400. It is a great start. Thank you so much, Jon.
You're very
Thank you
welcome.
for everything. Nate, thank you so
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you so much for watching, and don't go anywhere. We've got our drawing coming up next to find out who's going to win that rocking horse. It's Down Home with Tina.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. It's Down Home with Tina. Very quick segment here. We are just going to do the drawing for the handcrafted wooden rocking horse that was donated by Lil Steffens Workshop. Folks at the Native American celebration Honoring Traditions a couple of weeks ago, they bought tickets, and some other friends of mine that I know that are businesses and people that I know. So Debbie Probasco, president of the LCPAAA organization, is going to do the drawing here, and I'm just mixing them up here really good. So they've been mixed up really good since the first time I did it. So Debbie, I'm going to go ahead and let you draw a winning ticket for the rocking horse. Who is it?
David Schmelzer.
David Schmelzer. That is our friend at Ava Jewelers. He is a big fan of wanting to buy tickets. So congratulations, David Schmelzer. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you.
So, folks, it's just so funny because he was like, what are we going to do with it? But he's got plans, I guess. Folks, thank you so much. Have a great week. God bless and good day.